Well, hello there, people in the and hello again. I'm TheMBmulti. Welcome to part 33 of my Let's Play Doki Doki Encore. In the previous episodes, we had the Yuri's love confession. We turned it down, of course, unfortunately, because I'm on Natsuki's route. And of course, then we had the arguments, and we also had the nightmare sequence in the previous episodes, where Natsuki all of a sudden became really strong and she overpowered me and punched me so hard that I lost my vision, and then she choked me to death. You know, Natsuki out of everyone. I hear my phone vibrates. I reach over to my phone to see who messaged me. It's from Natsuki. I want to talk about what happened earlier in person. I contemplate my response. I'm not entirely sure if I want to be around her or anyone right now. What she said to Sayori crossed more than one line with me, even if she doesn't know about Sayori's depression. But maybe she wants to apologize for acting that way. It was a tense situation all around, and I guess in more than one way, we're both partly responsible for escalating this. I want to make things right with her, but she's still rather stubborn. Something which I'm in no mood to put up with. Yeah, we are gonna let her come over. Should work things out with Natsuki. I start texting her back. Yeah, if you want, you can come over to my place. Natsuki quickly replies back. Alright, I'm going there now. I'll be there in a few minutes. Man, what am I even going to say to her? This day's been a complete catastrophe. I don't even know what I'm going to say to Natsuki, let alone know what she's going to say to me. Maybe she just wants to apologize for what she said earlier. I haven't known her to be a nasty person, well, but today all expectations went out the window. Like, what do you mean? Like, the very first impression that we got of Natsuki was that she was, well, not necessarily nasty as in like a terrible human being, but, you know, she was mean. So, you know, like, that was the very first impression that we got. She was cold and mean. Like, she gave me the coldest of shoulders. Like, the very first thing she says, did you bring a boy or something when I met her, you know? So, like, what? What do you mean? I can't believe anyone would have said that to someone as kind as Sayori. It's enough to make my blood boil. Sighs. Maybe cleaning up the living room for Natsuki's arrival would be a better use of my time. I can get angry at her later. I get off of my bed and head downstairs and start cleaning up the living room. Just as I'm about to finish cleaning the living room, I hear the doorbell ring. Coming. I take a deep breath before walking over and opening the door. As expected, I find Natsuki waiting on my porch. She looks up at me through a guilty and pained expression. I simply sigh and virtually invite her in. Oh my god. After closing the door behind us, I lead Natsuki to the living room. We both take our seats on the couch, unable to make consistent eye contact with one another. I bow my head as I try to figure out something to break the tension. I'm not even sure where to begin. There's absolutely no excuse for what she says. Even if she doesn't know about Sayori's depression, it's just one of the things that you don't just say to people. But I think I at least owe Natsuki a chance to explain herself. We wait for several minutes in painfully awkward silence before she speaks up. I messed up. Clearly, you did. I know you're angry with me. You have every right to be, and I'm sure she's pissed at me too. Hell, I'd completely understand if you guys never want to talk to me again. Just everything about this day has just sucked. Well, you're not wrong there. But how could you even say that to Sayori? Look, in the time I've known you, I've gotten to understand that you're a passionate and direct person, and there's nothing inherently wrong with that. I like people who are upfront. I know you and Yuri can get a little heated, but this goes beyond anything I've ever seen from you. So I guess I just want to know why you acted out. Natsuki lets out a shaky sigh. I let my emotions get the better of me again. After I tried to calm down Yuri, she clearly wasn't having it, and so we got into a big fight over it. It got hurtful for us pretty quickly. We said a bunch of things to each other that I'm not going to ever repeat. And I guess along the way something inside me snapped. I was done being talked down to. I was done being pushed around. I dealt with it enough at home. And I'm not going to suffer through it in school too. So I lashed out at everyone. I had so much pent-up anger over my life that I just exploded. I really didn't mean to hurt anyone. I know I can't take back what I said, but I just want to let you know that just how sorry I am for everything. Nothing can explain the immense pain and guilt I feel right now. I know you didn't mean to hurt Yuri. In all honesty, as much as we fight, I want to be your friend. But I understand if everyone hates me. It just pisses me off everyone's that close I just piss off everyone that's close to me. Natsuki starts sobbing as I sit frozen in shock. I know Natsuki has it bad outside of school. Had it bad outside of school. And while there's certainly no way she can undo the hurt she's caused Sayuri, I'm glad to at least hear from her that she knows she's in the wrong. I hand Natsuki my tissue box. She gently plucks a tissue from the box and uses it to wipe her tears away. Thanks, Wag. Yeah, no problem. We sit for the next few minutes in silence. I sit there frozen in shock as I attempt to process the situation. I've never seen Natsuki come so clean about her mistakes. Maybe I shouldn't be so mad at her. I'll wait for her to collect herself before I say anything. Well, I'm glad you've come to recognize what you said back there was wrong, but I'm a pretty big reason for what happened as well. So I'm really sorry that all of that had to happen. So I shouldn't be as mad as I am at you. This really is all my fault. I let on Yuri and hurt her. And who knows who else I've hurt in the process. I'm just so confused about everything right now. I know what you mean. You know, after everything we've been through, I thought that you might have liked me more than just a friend. And just as friends. Even though we haven't been talking for very long, I thought I was able to tell that you really weren't like most boys. You actually took me seriously. You were kind, funny, and a bit of a mediocre taste in manga, but you actually cared about how I felt and what I was going through. Yeah, what kind of boys have you been hanging around, Natsuki? Because it sounds like those weren't really good people, to be honest, because that's just being, treating someone like a bit of a normal human being. Caring about someone is a bit different than just, acting normal to someone, but still, like we were all friends. We still are, but, like caring about each other is what friends do. So, I don't know what people you've been hanging around very lately, Natsuki, but yeah, well, whatever. I thought you weren't going to try and... What? I thought you weren't going to try to play me because I looked like an easy girl to get or something. What? First of all, I don't really understand that sentence. Second of all, what do you mean play me? That sounds like I'm some sort of Casanova, some guy that gets girls all the time, which is not true. So that's second of all. Third of all, how the hell would you seem like an easy girl to get? You seem like the hardest girl to get. I mean, apparently in the end it wasn't that hard because, you just need to get it past that tough barrier a little bit. But, like, for anyone, I guess, I mean, I'm not sure, I can't speak for everyone, but, she seemed like the most difficult person to get, or, to get through, or even just to be friends with. You seem like by far the most difficult person to, you seem like, how should I put this? You seem like the person with by far the largest, most expensive instruction manual. That's how you come across when I meet you for the first time, Natsuki. Like, everyone has like a couple things that you shouldn't say to them or whatever. So that's a human being's instruction manual, But Natsuki's instruction manual is as thick as like one of those books that holds all telephone numbers in your country, like a fucking this thick. That's Natsuki's instruction manual. Well, that does not appear to be true, but that's how it appears when you meet her for the first time. And first impressions matter. Those are the most powerful and strongest impressions you can ever get of someone. I mean, of course, if you do something horrible, like, you know, oh, I don't know, maybe call Sayori, tells her that she should kill herself. Or disappear forever, or whatever she says. You know, that can all, like, you know, if I get a very positive impression from her first, and then she says that, I'm like, oh, I still had such a positive first impression, I don't really care that she said that. Of course not, but, you know, like, but still, the most important impression is the first impression. And the first impression I got from Natsuki was, stay the fuck away from her. So how the hell would I think that you were an easy girl? Like, I understand well, no, I was about to say, I understand if Yuri would say that, but no, Yuri doesn't seem like an easy, nobody seems like an easy girl to get or something. No one does. Like, if what do you mean? Like if I would meet an actual hooker, that would seem like an easy girl because that's her job, you know? Like, you know, like, I definitely would not consider Natsuki to be an easy girl if I would meet her for the first time, because like I said, she seems like, when you meet her for the first time, she seems like a girl with a ridiculously large instruction manual to consider before you get close to her. Yuri, when you meet her for the first time, she seems like someone that's, well, yeah, well, not really, because because, you know, when you meet her for the first time, she's very introverted, but the very next thing she does the next day is buy a book for you. So, you know, not really. But Yuri also seems like someone that's, you know, stays away from you on purpose. And, you know, I can't really speak for Sayori because I never met Sayori for the first time, because we are always already friends when the game starts, you know. And Monika doesn't seem like a difficult person to get to know either. But if I would have to consider anyone like easy to connect to, then I would say it's Yuri, because, like I said, Yuri and I are very much the same, personality-wise, you know. So of course, I would consider Yuri to be one of the easiest people to connect with, because our personalities are so much in line. But by far the least easy person that I would think to exist is Natsuki. So I don't know why you think that, but I messed up by showing just how awful I am. You're turning it around, Sayori. Natsuki. You're turning it around. The very first time I met you, I thought I would never, you know. You turned me off, and now when I got to know you, you were like, oh yeah, well, you're friend, yeah, not romantic material, but friend materials. I like, yeah, sure, I could see you being but only still only in group setting, as in with the club. Now, I wouldn't deliberately become friends with you when I met you one-on-one, but in the group, when I'm like forced to spend time with you all the time, I would consider like, oh yeah, I would probably become friends with her eventually. Not as close as with Sayori, even Monika, and of course, romantic interest would be Yuri, if this was real life. But yeah, you turn it around, Natsuki. You turned me off first, and then when I got to meet you and a bit better, then I'm like, oh yeah, okay. Not what you said, but that when I met you for the first time, you were like, oh yeah, friends, and now, no. But of course, still, that doesn't mean that what you said is good against Sayori, because no one should say that. Her face is flushed with embarrassment as Natsuki finishes her speech. I never expected her to have that kind of impact. I never expected to have that kind of impact on her in such a short time. I try to fumble out some sort of answer. Well, Natsuki, I really appreciate everything you said there. I don't hate you because of what happened earlier. In fact, I don't hate you at all. Well, you still have to fucking apologize. I'm glad you recognize what you said was wrong and that you're willing to make things right with Sayori. I think I owe everyone an apology at this rate. Well, I think I do too. You both let out an awkward chuckle before the room returns to silence. So, how's Sayori? I haven't had a chance to check up on her yet, but I'll text her later. Okay. Well, I'll try to forgive you for what happened earlier. Why me? What did I do? I just can't deal with it right this second. I understand. We sit for the next few minutes in silence before Natsuki speaks up again. Do you think the club's ever going to be the same? I don't know. Hopefully we can all put aside our differences in time for Monday at least. But after that, who knows? I don't want the club to disband, Mark. It's really the only place I can call home. I know. I'd hate to see the club break apart too. I have no idea what's going to happen with Monika and Yuri. There's no telling if there'll ever be a meeting tomorrow. Yeah, if there will ever be a meeting tomorrow. So Yuri would try to come, wouldn't she? Knowing her, probably. She's not one to hold onto grudges. But hopefully we can apologize to each other and go back to being friends. Yeah. I'm glad you let me come over to hear me out. I suppose it's the least that we could do. I trust that you'll stay to your... What? I trust that you'll stay to your word and work things out with Sayori at least. I will. And hopefully I can make things right with Monika and Yuri too. I'm sure we'll be able to put this behind us. Yeah. Yeah, well, you'll be able to put it behind you one way or another, but of course the best way is to apologize. But yeah, you definitely need to apologize to Sayori first. And of course also to Yuri. And Yuri needs to do the same, and Monika needs to do the same, and Sayori doesn't need to do the same, because Sayori didn't really say anything. It's going to be tough to get things back to the way they were. But at least Natsuki and I smooth things over for the most part. Let's just hope it goes just as well for tomorrow. So I guess I'll see you tomorrow at the club then. I'll be there. Just let me know if you see Monika or Yuri around. I will. And let me know how Sayori is doing. I'll be sure to. Also, why the hell? I can't... Did Yuri do that too? I can't remember Yuri being this considerate. I was like... What I remember from Yuri's route was like I was a bit surprised as to how... I mean, Yuri said also that she shouldn't have said what she said. But I don't remember Yuri being this considerate too. Maybe I forgot about it. I hope I did. But if not, then why the fuck is Natsuki more considerate than Yuri? Because I would definitely see Yuri be ridiculously ashamed, and like, you know, like I would actually have to pull her out of it because of how badly she thinks about herself, you know? And you know, Yuri would like I don't know, like Yuri would go ridiculous lengths in order to make up for what she did with Sayori. That's the person I would see Yuri do, but I can't remember if Yuri was this considerate when I was on her route, because what I remember is that I was a bit surprised at how little she cared or something, I don't know. But you know, I feel like that's not Yuri. Yuri is like what Natsuki is doing, but then like even more, like 10 times more. Because, you know, Yuri, like when Yuri says something normal, she gets super flustered about it and like, oh crap, I messed up my entire relationship with everyone in the club, you know, when she says one wrong word. So when she always has a reaction when she says some, like a tiny thing that isn't really that bad. So, you know, how ridiculous should her reaction technically be after she goes into a huge argument like that? I mean, in Blue Skies as well, she also... After the argument, she was also really considerate, even though she still thought that she was a horrible human being, which was not true, but, you know, that's how she saw herself. But she was really friendly and considerate after that, to try and make up for it, you know? But I can't remember whether Yuri said that too. Maybe she did and I forgot about it, so in that case, forget what I said. But if I do remember it correctly and Yuri wasn't this considerate, I call bullshit, because I am 100% sure that Yuri would be even more considerate than what Natsuki is right now. Like Yuri would like want to go right now to Sayori's house to fix everything. I'm pretty sure that she would. I mean, she would be super scared, so she would ask me to come along. But that's what Yuri would do. I'm pretty sure. But that's not what she did when I was on her route, at least. But yeah, I don't know whether she asked the same about Sayori and stuff. If she did, then forget what I said. But if not, then I call bullshit on that. Well, I'll get going now. If I stay any longer, I'll miss the bus. It's alright. Thank you for everything, Natsuki. I'm glad we worked things out. Yeah, me too. Well, later, Mark. See you tomorrow. I lead Natsuki out the door and gently close it behind her. I watch out the window as Natsuki walks off into the horizon in the direction of the nearest bus stop. That wasn't too bad, I mumbled to myself. I'm still a little surprised Natsuki went out of her way to directly apologize to me. Even though she was awful during that fight, I'm glad that she recognized her mistakes. It's going to take time for Natsuki and I to move past what happened, but I don't think it changed my feelings for her that much. I guess I'll find out for sure tomorrow. After finishing my nightly routine, I finally collapse on my bed, letting its comforting feeling take me with open arms. As I slowly drift off to sleep, I begin to reflect on my talk with Natsuki earlier. I'm glad that we were able to talk things out and come to an understanding, but I still have my work cut out for me. I have no idea how we're going to make peace with Yuri, and it's going to be interesting to see how Natsuki apologizes to Sayori. Ah, damn it, I forgot to text her. Yeah, congratulations, idiot. She's probably asleep by now. Yeah, well, even if she is asleep, you can still text, because then she can see by the time that you were still thinking about her. Why would you want to talk to me now anyways? Knowing her, she's convinced herself that she'll just mess up everything for me. And that is exactly why you should text her anyway. You forgot about it, sure, whatever, but text her immediately anyway, and don't think, oh, I'll wait till tomorrow. Because, even if she won't read it, even if she only will read it by tomorrow, she can see on her phone by the time that I sent it, that it was still today, She still can see that I sent it, I don't know what time it is at this point, like 9 p.m. or something. She could still see by the time that, like, oh, he did really think about me or whatever, because, especially what you just said, that she would just blame herself. That's exactly why you should text her as soon as you can anyway. I mean, it doesn't matter if she will read it tomorrow. Like, if she reads it tomorrow, she reads it tomorrow. That's okay. But, by the time that you send it, that can definitely help. If she wakes up tomorrow and you haven't sent anything, that is when the real issue is. Not to mention, I feel like I could have made a suggestion to Natsuki to get everyone on the same page. That if she told everyone about her issues at home, maybe the others would start treating her nicer. I like she'd agree to that. Maybe I can still pitch it to her tomorrow. It's going to be so much fun. It's best to try not to think about it too much and just save up my energy. It's going to be eventful and stressful no matter how it goes. Hopefully there's no more stupid nightmares too. With my prayer complete, I finally drift off to sleep. I can't feel now. Not while I'm so close. Oh yeah, that's the same. Okay, I seriously wish you didn't try to make amends with Natsuki, but that hopefully won't matter so much to my calculations. Yeah, then this is the same. Natsuki. Not to mention I can really expect her to make up with Yuri after what happened. I mean, they fought before, but not like this. And it seems like everyone's pissed off at each other for something. Then again, Natsuki has surprised me with what she can do when she steps up. Let's just hope she can do it again. Maybe I can talk to her before the club. And I still need to talk to Sayori about what happens. Hopefully she's still waiting to talk to me. But wanting to talk to me. And then, that poem from Sayori. It really sucks that I'm going to have to choose between her and Natsuki. Never wanted that to happen. What? Who? Oh, Sayori. But I mean, you already established that you didn't have romantic feelings for Sayori, but just because you are in love with Natsuki doesn't mean you can't have Sayori as a friend anymore. For the rest of the day, it almost... skip. See a flash of pink before it retreats from my sight. It's alright, Natsuki, come on in. I tried to sound as inviting as possible, but I probably ended up coming across as awkward. Still, she seems to have accepted the invite. Natsuki slowly opens the rest of the door and steps into the club room. We struggle to make eye contact with one another, let alone speak to each other. Hello, Mark. Hey, Natsuki. Natsuki carefully sets her stuff down, but she doesn't sit. Instead, she turns around to face me. Her eyes struggle to meet mine. It takes a few moments before she finally finds her voice. So, you ready for this? No, I can't say I am honest. I honestly am. Well, good, me either. I'm still having a hard time wrapping my head around this. I just never thought the club would be brought to this point. If you told me a week ago that things would be the way they are now, I would have called you crazy. Yeah, even if you did believe me, you still would have called me crazy. Maybe. Natsuki crosses her arms and nervously glances at the floor. What's wrong? Natsuki sighs. There's no point in hiding this since you already know. But I've been thinking. Yes? I think everyone needs to be on the same page with each other. So no one makes the same mistakes again with what happened yesterday. Where are you going with this? I think it's time I told everyone about my home situation. My heart nearly stops at the news. Is she serious? You sure you want to do that? Natsuki simply nods. Well, if you think it's the time for it, it's the time for it. It is. I just don't know if I'm ready to say it. It looks like it's not like I rehearsed anything. I mean, I'll help you set things up for you, but just tell them what you want, what you told me. It's not the same. You I actually trust, without a shadow of doubt. Them, right now, I'm not so sure. But I need to get this off my chest. I'm glad we at least sorted things out between us yesterday. It crosses one thing off the massive to-do list. That's true. Natsuki tries to shoot me an optimistic smile, but she can tell I'm not really in the mood to return the favor. Yeah, tell me about it. This sucks. I never wanted any of this drama. No one did. I just wanted us to all get along. I didn't know that us growing closer together was going to piss off everyone else. Well, we can't go back and change that. But you know, despite all this, I'm really glad that we got to know each other. You've been a great friend to me, Mark. I honestly couldn't have asked for anyone better. I can't help but smile at Natsuki's compliments. At least we can both go into this with somewhat of a good mood. Say, since we have some time on our hands before everyone else starts showing up, you want to read some manga? You know it. Great! I just hope that Yuri... Yeah, then Yuri comes in. Before Natsuki could finish her sentence, the door opens and Yuri enters the room. She looks at Natsuki, who quickly averts her eyes away from Yuri. Yuri's eyes then lock onto mine as I continue my icy stare. She tries to say something, but she quickly catches herself and takes a seat on the far side of the room away from us. I quietly sigh to myself. I'm not looking forward to talking to her. After a few more minutes of waiting, Monika arrives in with Sayori, which we can skip. Okay, this is the same a bit. Oh wow, he's just coming out saying it right here. Oh no, never mind. He already does that with Yuri too. Never mind. But I've been spending quite a bit of time around her recently, and well, I like her. One by one, the girls shoot each other an irritated or dejected look at me. What? Shoot each other an irritated or dejected look at me. Okay, but Natsuki only smiles as she holds back tears. I really don't think that there is anything that's going to change that. I want to be in a relationship with her and not to spite any of you. My voice starts to break. But because I've come to realize lately, she needs me. Yeah, that's a bit weird to say, but okay. I turn to Natsuki, signaling to her that it's her turn to speak. Right. I'm sorry, I'm allergic for Natsuki. Natsuki promptly stands up. She shakily breathes in and out, tears welling in her eyes. Everyone, the thing is, Natsuki looks at Monika, then to me. Sayori and finally to Yuri. Monika manages an uneasy grin as Sayori and Yuri continue to look on at Natsuki. Yeah, Yuri is like, so, like she kind of like knows, you know? Like, oh, okay. Maybe we should have had a dry run. I give Natsuki an encouraging nod. Come on, Natsuki, you can do this. I can't do this! And then Monika standing there smiling. Natsuki bolts out from her seat and rushes out the door past Monika, loudly sobbing.